Welcome back to Bonico Tarot. And yeah, I figured it might be nice to have a little bit of sage to start this one off. Energies are pretty high, as we're all well aware. Sending out love, light, and truth, and the pursuit of it to all. So, here's another big report. We are dealing with a lunar eclipse. And lunar eclipses in general, can trigger fated events. But this one, it's not so much the eclipse that's of concern in this moment. It is the moon square to Mars. So we're dealing with some very intense energies. I would anticipate that that this June will be probably one of the most intense months that we've had in decades. So, as I advise to many of my friends, make sure you have your helmet on this weekend, because it's going to be a doozy. I mean, who knows what's going to happen, really. But it's definitely a time to not give in to impulses, especially when we're feeling triggered by something. So before I get too deep into the details on the eclipse, I'm going to get a little business stuff out of the way. I do offer private readings, and so I've just finished making a little flyer, which I've posted on Bonico Tarot on Facebook, so you can see it there for quick reference. But basically what I'm offering is I'm offering a one question 30-minute in-depth tarot reading. That will be for $35. And then if you want to go a little bit more into your situation, or if you have a few things you want to take a look at, then I would recommend that we do the multiple questions 60-minute reading, which a lot of the times they go more. Now, I can do those live, or I can also record them and send you a link online where you can look at them yourself and possibly opt for them for download. I'm still kind of working that out, but at any rate, I do have a space to send you a link at this time, and I'll give you more details about that once you message me. And then my third little itty bitty reading option is the I Need a Sign 3-card reading, and that is recorded only. So what I would do is email you a photo of the spread in terms of the cards that I laid out, and then a quick little voicemail or voice memo file for your use to refer to. So then also I would like to direct you to the Venus retrograde, Venus RX, for each sign, the reports that I did for each sign a little over a week ago. Those reports are going to be relevant for May, June, and July. And also a handy reference for your hindsight is 2020 kind of thing as we move into the late summer and early fall, because we've got a lot of aspects that are triggering significant changes, because we have moved into a new chapter and we're creating a paradigm that we have no point of reference for. So things are happening, we're not really seeing them coming because we're not familiar with the dynamics of this new paradigm. So let me see, did I get all the business over with? And then also, yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so that when I do get videos up, you are notified right away. And so, yeah, let's get to the general astrological themes for this lunar eclipse. So, this lunar eclipse is in Sagittarius, and because it's square Mars, the dynamics are around love and hate. So, and, you know, all manner of extremes in this respect. So, it's a classic kind of dynamic where you really have to ask yourself, which wolf am I going to feed? There will be things that will poke you, that will trigger you. And so if you don't want to be caught up with a huge mess of details to have to work out when throughout the rest of the summer, when you really wanted to have your eye on other things, then I suggest you really rein yourself in. We all need to take a pause, take a breath, and know without a doubt that we see the way that we're heading clearly before we act. Most of the planets are in retrograde or in some stage of it, and Mercury retrograde is right around the corner, folks. So, you know, with all the action that we've seen so far, it's really best to be paying attention and put your helmet on. What this is also leading us into is we have a solar eclipse later in the month, and that will be, what is that solar eclipse going to be in? I believe it's is it Cancer? Yes, it's going to be Cancer. If I'm wrong, I will correct myself. And that's going to be based on our issues around freedoms and restriction. So I think that we're already seeing a lot of those themes that are playing out, and here at this time we're looking for sort of the culmination or the climax that does bring clarity and opens up a whole new path for many of us. One of the things that I've been finding that I've been advising my clients of so far is that when we feel like we're in this vice grip and the options are not clear, and we find that we're actually attached to a particular outcome of our situation, I recommend that you find a way to surrender without it having to mean failure or death. So, as with all of my readings, I like to play with perspective, and I invite you to join me as I provide you with the context of astrology to then create yet another story with finer details in time and space with the tarot. So, here's the deal. Leo, this eclipse falls in your 5th house of joy, children, and soulmates. So while you may be experiencing romantic tests with your partner, you may also be experiencing the birth of children. You could be part of a situation where there's a new beginning for a child. Maybe you're adopting. Perhaps you're a teacher, and there's a child that you've been working with that you're giving a new chance at some sort of opportunity. It could also just be the birth of a creative project that has you extremely happy, and perhaps even a project that is involving children. So within the context of this eclipse and the energies that are presented for you, Leo, let's lay down a few tarot cards, and then I will clarify them with my mini Rider-Waite and pull a Lenormand and see what sort of insights we can give you for this weekend. So there's 2 out of 3. And nope. one more card. There we go. All right, so what are the surrounding energies for this eclipse for you, Leo? Rest. There you go. Four Swords. So this is really about Leo taking a time out, which I advise for everybody, actually, because, while, not all signs are being affected the same way, there's definitely a lot of intensity out there, and, hiding away is not such a bad idea. But let's see what else the cards have to say for you. So we have the Emperor, we have the Sun, and we have the Page of Swords. So you may be dealing with an Aries or a person of authority, perhaps on this new project. It could be the father of your child. But you're moving into a really, really happy space, and, your card came up, so you're definitely feeling like you. And you're feeling really happy. And it could be around a new project that you're actually taking online. Or you're ready to talk about this project. You could also be pregnant, but you haven't told anyone. But this lunar eclipse, you may find yourself in a situation where you're now sharing this information. So let's get the mini Rider-Waite out and see what we've got happening. So clarifying the Emperor, I'll take that one. Clarifying the Sun card, we'll take that one. Oh, and there we go. All right, so we'll take a look at the surrounding energies after. Okay, so we've got the Queen of Pentacles. So this could be an earth sign, so that's a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. And they could be somebody that you're working with. They could be your partner. They could be your boss. And for the Sun, we've got the Judgment card. So there may be a decision that has been made. It also could be, here's the trumpet, so here's the big announcement. You never know. And then, oh my goodness, we communicate. And dun 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 dun, we've got the Tower. So you may have made a decision about something, and you know that it's time to make the announcement. It's time to communicate it to the people around you. And you're like super happy about it. But it's going to change everything. And that's what I'm finding is sort of the general theme for everyone, is that everything is changing. And this is what I meant, in terms of, that we need to find ways to surrender things that don't mean failure or death, that surrender can actually be surrendering to joy around the decisions that you're making. And so, these are basically surrendering to change. And so you may be rocked a little bit by the changes that are happening in your life, and you may not fully understand how you're going to proceed with them. Or the people around you may be really shaken by the changes that you're making in your life. So tread carefully, Leo. Let's see what the Lenormand has to say in terms of symbolism. All right. Oh, yes, the Tower. So while the Tower in the Lenormand deck is not the same as the Tower in the tarot, we can at least recognize that they both showed up in the same reading. But the Tower in the Lenormand is really more about getting a higher perspective on things, so that you can come into a better understanding as to how to proceed. So the other thing that I notice is that we've got the 6 of spades there. I don't know whether that's focusing or not, but at any rate, we've got the 6 of spades, which is like the 6 of swords. And so, you know, this really could be a passage from a time that was difficult and very hard and grueling to some degree into something that is, you know, something that is more peaceful generally. Yeah, you know, you're going to the mountain, Leo. You know, you're definitely resting up for the next phase of your journey. And right underneath the 4 of swords was the strength card. You know, you do have the strength. Oh my goodness gracious. One more. And that revealed the 2 of cups. So, you know, a real connection with a soulmate at this time is going to provide you with great strength. So it's important that you rest up and realize that the changes that you're bringing into your life are going to rock the world of the people around you. Some of them in good ways, and some of them it's going to be hard. So be gentle, tread carefully, wear a helmet. You got the Tower card, so you better wear a helmet in whatever you're doing. Take care, Leo.